Chicago Med is losing an original star and bringing one back in season 11, and although the show is seemingly trying to, the latter doesn't balance out the former. The medical drama's cast has vastly changed throughout its run. It doesn't look the same as it did when it premiered in 2015, and the changes will just keep coming as Chicago Med continues. The original cast has been all but decimated as only 3 stars remained as of the Chicago Med Season 10 finale: Marlene Barrett as Maggie Lockwood, S. Epatha Murkison as Sharon Goodwin, and Oliver Platt as Dr. Daniel Charles. Everyone else has exited the series. Unfortunately, one of the 3 will be joining the departed cast in Chicago Med Season 11. Marlene Barrett is leaving Chicago Med ahead of Season 11. Maggie is saying goodbye to Gaffney. Maggie sitting in a chair and looking smug in Chicago Med. Marlene Barrett, who has played Maggie Lockwood in Chicago Med since Season 1, is leaving ahead of Season 11, according to a report from Deadline. Fans first met Barrett's character, who is the charge nurse in Gaffney Chicago Med Center's emergency department, in the NBC TV show series premiere. She was fierce, strong-willed, passionate, and protective. She hasn't changed much since then. Unfortunately, the audience and the other Chicago Med characters must bid Maggie farewell when the medical drama returns with its 11th season in the fall of 2025. The good news is that Barrett's exit is reportedly considered to be temporary, at least, for now. The writers and producers are evidently remaining hopeful that Barrett will eventually come back as Maggie. It's unknown what reasoning Chicago Med will use to explain Maggie's absence in Season 11. Given that the show doesn't plan on her exit being permanent, fans can rest assured that Barrett's character won't die. However, Maggie's big story in Season 10 revolved around tension between the hospital board and the nurses' union. So, perhaps that'll play a factor in her departure. Chicago Med is trading one original cast member for another. Nick Gelfus is returning in Season 11. William Holstead wearing his white coat and talking at the hospital in Chicago Med. While Barrett is leaving, Chicago Med original star Nick Gelfus is returning for Season 11. Gelfus first appeared as Dr. Will Holstead in Chicago PD Season 2, Episode 17, as he is Jay Holstead's brother. Shortly after, the actor became a series regular in the NBC medical drama. He stayed there for 8 seasons before bidding farewell to Chicago Med in 2023. Chicago Med Season 8 ended with Will taking the blame for sabotaging OR 2.0 and resigning from his position at Gaffney. Afterward, he left Chicago and moved to Seattle. There, he reunited with his one true love, Natalie Manning, and her son, Owen. Although his exit was heartbreaking, Will got his happily ever after, which is all anyone can ask for. Now, Gelfus is set to return in a guest starring role. But by the sound of it, he should appear in more than one episode, and after learning that Barrett was leaving Chicago Med ahead of Season 11, it also seems like the show is trying to trade her for Gelfus. That's not how that works, though. Maggie and Will aren't interchangeable characters. Will can't replace Maggie permanently. Chicago Med must find a real replacement for Maggie. Nick Gelfus as Will Holstead and Marlene Barrett as Maggie Lockwood in Chicago Med. NBC via Moviestills DB. It looks like Chicago Med is essentially only bringing Will back to make up for the loss of Maggie. However, as fans know, Maggie and Will are 2 completely different characters. It's not like Will's return can make viewers forget about Maggie's exit, especially because they have 2 contrasting roles in medicine. Will is an attending physician, while Maggie is a charge nurse. Sure, Will's limited appearance in Chicago Med Season 11 can briefly distract fans from Maggie's absence. However, Maggie will be missed no matter what. They can bring in a departed original character, but that doesn't erase the fact that Maggie has been a steady presence in the series since its inception. It's going to take time to get used to her not being there. Plus, Gaffney Chicago Medical Center still needs to find a permanent replacement for Maggie. Will can't be the emergency department's charge nurse, after all. He could be a visiting physician, but he could never do what Maggie did. As such, Chicago Med must either cast someone new to step into Maggie's role or promote an already established character, like Doris Perez. Only time will tell how Maggie will leave Gaffney, who will replace her, and how Will fits into this mess. Whatever happens, we know that the door will remain open for Maggie's return, similar to how Will left. Her exit should tease the possibility of her rejoining her colleagues at Gaffney one day. So, right when an original cast member returns, another is leaving. Despite the timing, the one Chicago TV show can't expect Will's special guest appearance to cancel out Maggie's departure. Hopefully, Chicago Med will acknowledge as much when Season 11 premieres.